Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Agent School. My name is Cameron Ure. I am a real estate coach and the owner of Real Estate Agent School. And in this video, I am going to share with you a crazy experience where I actually got the cops called on me for knocking doors. This person was upset, a word for word Karen, if I say so myself. And so this is a great example of how to approach this situation when a homeowner is upset when going door to door. And also, if you stick to the end, I'll explain why I went wrong with my initial approach when talking to the first homeowner and how you can fix your pitch to have better success when at the door, and so you don't just leave empty-handed and actually get contact information so you can follow up in the future and close that deal. So to preface the situation, I am knocking a door currently. You'll hear in a second where I'm actually speaking with a homeowner, conversation's going well, but I don't do well. I don't really close the deal. I don't really ask a whole ton of questions. It was honestly kind of a failed conversation from this recording standpoint. But as I'm walking away, a homeowner or person comes up to me and approaches me about me knocking doors and pretty much is saying, hey, we've called the cops on you. This has been a problem in this neighborhood that somebody is stalking homes and we think it's you. Super awkward situation. So listen to this from the beginning first for the script of me knocking the prospect at the door. And then once I start to have a conversation with this homeowner that is super upset. So listen in.
Cameron, I'm Keller Williams. Did your neighbor literally right next to you let you know I'd be coming to see you?
No.
Okay, no worries. They, obviously their house is for sale, and we just had a client that was interested in the townhomes in this area, and so we are just checking around with the neighbors. Have you guys ever considered selling your place?
We actually only bought it like a year and a half ago.
Oh.
So solid pitch. I go into it, calm, relaxed, just having a good conversation. And he says, we've actually only bought it a year and a half ago. So not very long ago, but still I've closed several deals where someone has lived in the home less than that time. So let's continue.
Oh, okay, so you're like brand new.
Yeah.
Nice. What's kind of your purpose for purchasing the place?
Well, we just wanted to end up, this is our first place, my wife and I. So.
Oh, good for you guys. Cool.
Yeah.
First time home buy. Love
Right?
it. Okay, well, so you'll probably be here for, what, another 5-10 years, or what are you guys thinking?
Probably.
That was the first mistake I made. I assumed their timeline. I shouldn't have said, oh, so you'll probably be here. I should have just asked, how long do you think you'll be here? Is this a 3 to 5 year home? Not necessarily giving it to him to answer and be like, yeah, that's how long we'll be here. It's very hard to dig yourself out of an objection when you pretty much gave it to the homeowner.
At least 5. And then we want to have our own place built, so.
Oh, nice. You want to build next?
Yeah.
Well, sweet. No, that's a good plan. Do you know of anyone in the neighborhood that has talked about purchasing or
Just over
selling
that way, if you walk down the sidewalk, you can just turn the light on. There's one of the windows has a for sale sign on it. They may already be working with a realtor, but.
I think, so there's a couple.
So I gave up, 100% gave up, just pretty much said, hey, do you know of anybody else in the neighborhood? And I didn't even do it very well. I pretty much just asked a blunt question, which is not really how to successfully ask for a referral. He then goes on to pretty much tell me, hey, there's one down the street. I already knew it was under contract. And so I pretty much was just explaining that to him.
Houses that are for sale in here, and a lot of them are already under contract, and that's kind of a problem we're running into is people just have already sold their house, so that's why we're back out here. But if you need anything, let me know here. I'll give you a card so you have my information.
Funny enough, this is back in the day when I was giving out cards. I don't do that anymore. I try to just get their contact information, but see how I just kind of copped out and was like, hey, here's my card, let's stay in touch. That's one of the reasons why I don't do it, is because if you're trying to procure now business, that's not the route you want to go. If you're obviously just trying to build a database, get connected with other people, that's totally fine. It's just your pitch and where your business is currently at. So I give this card over and I'm pretty much hightailing it out of there, which is not the way you want to do it if you are trying to get actual business right now.
If you have questions, just let me know.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a good one. Hello.
So I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
We heard that you were around.
Yes.
And I don't know if I'm on the board here, so we're kind of curious. Whose realtor are you?
Keller Williams.
So this lady approaches me literally right after I step away from this door and is like, hey, whose realtor are you? I'm on the board. And I already know, oh goodness, this is about to be about me door knocking, soliciting. And to preface, I was in the wrong 100% here. I will admit that this was a neighborhood where I did have to have a quote unquote license to door knock. This is something you want to check. You always want to be in legal constraints when knocking doors. I obviously don't condone being against that or outside of that. And so I was 100% in the wrong in this. But me being naive and just a hustler getting after it, I was just knocking to knock because I was hungry for business. And so anyways, continue on in this conversation.
Okay, but you're not anywhere in here?
No, I'm not selling any of these houses.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because this is actually a no soliciting area.
Okay.
So over here and just in the next neighborhood over here, I can show you. So I actually can't have you going door to door.
Even if I'm just knocking to ask about people, because the reason we're out here is we're not trying to get listings or anything.
So it gets really windy and so you can't really hear what I say. But a lot of the times people will say, hey, you can't be soliciting here. This is a no soliciting neighborhood. Totally true. I mean, there's going to be neighborhoods where there's no soliciting. There's going to be neighborhoods where people would prefer there to be no soliciting. And so my normal response is, hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just educating the neighbors, talking to them about the current real estate market and connecting them with a potential client of mine that may be interested in buying their home. Me personally, I do not enter these conversations with the mindset of, hey, I'm going to sell this person, get a list agreement signed and go from there. Is there intent to do business with this person in the future? 100%. But I'm there to build relationships. And so I don't feel necessarily that I'm bothering people. I'm actually helping people because how many times I've been able to bless somebody's life by knocking on their door, changing their life situation, getting them into a better home and keeping their payments exactly the same. So if you think that's soliciting or wrong of me, it is what it is. I am just trying to provide my family, and I believe that it's okay to have conversations with people and just make friends. So I'm going to fast forward. You really can't hear it in that section, but she goes on to talk about how there's a guy in the city that has actually been reported for having similar conversations and stalking homes in the neighborhood. This is obviously not me. I am knocking doors as a business person, and I provide my contact information. I say, here's our website, here's my business card. You can look me up. We're totally legit. And I continue the conversation pretty much just saying, hey, this is obviously not me. Like, I'll look up the post. And then she turns to her husband and is like, is this the guy? Do you recognize him? And apparently there was a picture of this person posted on the community page of this guy stalking the neighborhood. And I kid you not, this guy drives the exact same car as I did back then. Spitting image, same color, same model, everything. The odds could not have been worse. And so I'm obviously now like, well, shoot, this looks really bad on me. And so when the husband gets involved, it gets a little bit dicey, which is honestly my favorite part. So listen in.
Did he look like that guy in the picture?
No,
It looks like it's a different guy, but it's like almost identical stories.
Okay.
And so just a heads up.
There's a picture of this guy?
There is.
Can I look it up or see it
Yeah,
somehow?
no, it's just the Eagle Mountain. Is it the Citizens page? Citizens
On
page?
Facebook?
Mhm.
Okay.
So I definitely take a look at it and just see what's happening and things like that.
Yeah.
It's totally okay, but when you approached me yesterday, you said this neighbor was letting you know that you were coming.
Their real estate agent.
So we called the real estate
They don't know
agent.
anything, and we don't talk to that neighbor. We hate that neighbor.
So this this guy's getting real salty. And so pretty much what I'm trying to explain is when I'm knocking in a neighborhood, like most of you know, I have the saying that I learned to say, hey, did your neighbor let you know I'd be coming by? And they're really great icebreaker, super useful. And you want to be able to back that up. You just don't want to say that. And in this particular situation, there was a home that had recently sold. I had spoken to the real estate agent and pretty much had the conversation of, do you know of anyone else in the neighborhood? And can you let your sellers know if anybody else is selling that I have an interested buyer? From that conversation, apparently these people called that agent. I don't know if this is true or not. They could just be frustrated or saying this, and were like, hey, did this guy reach out to you? I don't know what happened. Either way, I was just there saying, hey, I still have somebody interested in this neighborhood, and I'm just trying to find somebody that may be willing to sell to my client. But this is what this guy is getting super upset about, and his wife had to kind of cool him down. So listen to the rest of this conversation.
So that's okay. I'm just saying, for you to tell me that when you came by yesterday,
Yeah.
and we don't even talk to them, and we don't actually want to have a conversation with them, that's where it kind of threw us off yesterday, and that's where the cops were involved.
No, I totally understand that. The main reason is we have clients that are interested in these homes, and so whenever we talk to a realtor, we ask if they know of anyone else in the neighborhood, or if that owner talks to their neighbors to let them know that we have a client still looking. And so if they didn't come by, I mean, obviously there's a reason, is because the relationship isn't really there. And so, I mean, I'm not lying to you guys. We really have someone looking in this neighborhood.
That's okay.
No, it's fine. It just,
Letting you know.
No, I
very,
appreciate that.
you know, like, I mean, essentially when we saw that, like, we ended up calling the cops because of that. And, like,
So are you guys the ones that got the police involved, or was that already happening?
it was already happening with someone else. And then
Okay.
I just said, hey, this is happening as well, just because your guys' stories were so similar. And, you know, we can't.
So anyways, that is the gist of this conversation. I had to end up talking to the police again and pretty much smoothing it over with these individuals that, hey, I now understand this neighborhood is no soliciting. I need a badge. Had them cool down and relax and realize that I was just out working. Moral of the story, and why I wanted to create this video, is you're going to have people when knocking doors that are a little bit unhappy or respond rude, which is totally fine. I mean, that's the reality of catching somebody at a time that they weren't expecting you. And in reality, a lot of people just are having a bad day. And so the mindset I like to have when knocking doors is, this person, I don't know what their life experience was the 5 seconds before I just knocked on this door. I don't know what they're going through. And if they took it out on me, I'm okay with that, because I know that my job and what I'm doing on a daily basis is helping people. It's providing for me, and I'm gaining experience, becoming extremely successful from my experiences of door knocking, and it's all worth it. And so when knocking, know and have the confidence that there are so many nice people that are going to outweigh the rude encounters that you have. The other moral of the story is be legal. Double check your neighborhoods, make sure that soliciting is okay, or that you have a reason to be there and you're going to be okay soliciting. And even if you do have to get the cops involved, majority of the time you truly are not selling anything, and they're just going to say, hey, we understand, but like, you just have to have a legitimate person you're visiting or another reason to be here. So regardless, this isn't legal advice. Make sure to double check your surroundings and the neighborhoods you jump into. So if you've stayed to the end of this video, I want to give you a golden nugget for the beginning of this conversation when I had my initial door knocking approach. I ran away. I walked you through that conversation, but the one thing I want to hit on is giving up early is going to be the downfall of your door knocking career. If you can stick through it and be uncomfortable and ask as many questions as you can before running away from the door, as well as trying to get contact information 10 out of 10 times and just going for it, your career will explode and your success rate will increase significantly. All it is just taking the effort and pretty much getting out of your comfort zone to have those conversations and go a little bit deeper. Again, I am not salesy whatsoever when I'm having these conversations. I'm not prying at these people. I'm not trying to push them towards getting a listing appointment with me. None of that. I'm actually just asking more questions to learn about their situation, to become their friend. That way I can stay in touch with them. That way I can be real with them and say, hey, yeah, right now is probably not the best time for you to sell. Or yeah, it is. Like, really, this is something you should consider and think about. And then just following up with them. Watch my previous follow-up video. Watch my system of how I stay in touch with people. It's how you can build a successful door knocking business and become a successful real estate agent. So If you have questions, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit comical, crazy experience for me, but door knocking really is the best. It's the best form of prospecting out there, in my personal opinion. And so if you have questions on how to door knock and want to chat with me, book a call with me in the description below. I'd love to talk about your business and see how I can help you succeed. And I'll see you in the next video.